Storytime with Ranger Sara.
Hi, I'm Ranger Sara from Whitewater State Park, and today I'm going to read to you Snowshoe Thompson by Nancy Smiler Levinson. It was a few weeks before Christmas. Danny O'Reilly waited for the mail coach at the Placerville post office. Danny had a letter to send to his pa. It said, "Dear Pa, you have been gone a long time. Aunt Nan and I count the days. I wish you would come home. Are you still digging for gold in Nevada? I do not care if you strike it rich. I miss you. I wish you could come home for Christmas. Your son, Danny." The door opened. Old Joe, the clerk, came in. "I have bad news," he said. "No mail until spring. The snow is too deep." Danny blinked back tears and put his letter in his pocket. "What good is my letter now?" he asked Aunt Nan. "Pa will not know how much I miss him. Maybe he will never come back." "Hush now, lad," said Aunt Nan. "You will have to wait until spring. Nothing can get over the mountains now, not even the mail." Just then John Thompson stepped forward. He was new in town. "No mail all winter?" John asked. "That's right," old Joe said. "Many men have tried to cross the Sierra Nevada mountains, but few have made it. The mountains are mighty dangerous in the snow." "I can make it," said John. "How?" asked Danny. "There is a way," John said. "Come to my cabin tomorrow and you will see." John was chopping a log. Whack, thwack. "What are you doing?" Danny asked. John looked up and wiped his brow. "I am making skis to deliver the mail," he said. "What are skis?" asked Danny. "Skis are like snowshoes," said John, "but skis glide fast over the snow. Everyone in Norway uses them to go from place to place in wintertime." "Will they get you over the mountains?" Danny asked. "Sure," said John. John swung his axe. Whack, thwack, whack. He split the log again and again. "There, we have 2 long planks of wood. Now we have to make the wood as smooth as glass." "Can I help?" Danny asked. "Yes," said John. "After I shape the planks of wood, you can help me sand them down." Scrape, scrape, scratch, scratch. Danny's arm felt tired, but he did not stop. "You are doing a good job," John told Danny. Danny smiled. He did not feel so tired anymore. At last the wood was as smooth as glass. "Are the skis done now?" Danny asked. "Not yet," said John. "Now we have to boil the wood." "Boil the wood?" asked Danny. "Yes," said John. "We have to make the tips soft so we can bend them." "How long will it take?" asked Danny. "Maybe until sundown," said John. Danny watched the boiling water bubble over the wood. "Is the wood soft now?" Danny asked. "Yes," said John. "Now we will wedge the soft tips of wood between these 2 logs. That will make the tips curve. Tomorrow the skis will be dry, and I will try them out at sunup." Danny put his hand in his pocket. "Soon my letter will be on the way to Pa," he said. "You can count on me," said John. The sun rose over Hangtown Hill. Danny hurried. There was John on his skis. He had a long pole in one hand. He was gliding on the snow. "You are moving fast!" Danny cried. John came to a stop. "Now I will try the hill," he said. "Wait," said Danny. "Let me get Aunt Nan. She will want to see this." Everyone came to watch. "Here I go," John called. Whoosh, swish, whoosh. "John will hit a tree and dash his brains out," old Joe said. Aunt Nan screamed. "Foolhardy!" another man cried. "John is not foolhardy," said Danny. "He will deliver the mail. We can count on him." It was a bright, cold morning. John was ready to leave. He had a big bag of mail on his back, and his skis were strapped to his boots. "When will you be back?" Danny asked. "I'm not sure," said John. "These mountains are new to me, but do not worry. I will be back." John set out on his trip. He skied across meadows and up and down slopes. He skied on and on. Suddenly the sky turned gray and snow began to fall. The wind howled. It blew so hard that John could barely see. "The town folks were right," John said to himself. "The Sierra Nevadas are mighty dangerous in winter." John had a long way to go, almost 90 miles altogether, but he did not give up. He did not turn back. Danny pressed his nose against the post office window and stared at the mountains. "John has been gone for 5 days," said Danny. "Poor John," said Aunt Nan. "I hope he is still alive." "Maybe the fellow froze to death," one man said. Maybe he was attacked by wolves, said the man's wife. John will be back, Danny said. I know he will. Suddenly, old Joe cried, Look, there's that fellow with those crazy snowshoes. Danny ran outside. I knew you would make it, cried Danny. I told you you could count on me, said John. He opened the mailbag and pulled out a letter. Here, Danny, this is for you. Danny tore open the letter. He read, Dear Danny, I was very happy to get your letter. I miss you too. I will be home for Christmas. I cannot wait to see you. Love from your Pa. How will Pa get here? Danny asked John. On skis, said John. We are going to make a pair of skis for your Pa. Pa is coming home on skis, cried Danny. Pa will be home for Christmas.
The end. It's a nice story. And just like the character in this storybook, I also like to take my cross-country skis out on a winter day when there's some fresh snow and just go out and ski for a little bit. Sometimes I go in my neighborhood. I'm lucky I live in an area where there's some places I can go explore on skis, or I take it to a nearby park. There's parks and trails all throughout Minnesota, so a lot of places to explore. And some places will even rent you skis for the day, so you can go out with your family and rent a pair of skis and try it out. Come with me and I'll show you what it's all about. So cross-country skiing is a sport that's been around for a long, long time. And people in northern climates in northern Europe, where there's a lot of snow, basically invented this sport. And it was a means of transportation to be able to get over mountain ranges during the very snowy season. So it's been a life-saving mode of transportation for people in snowy areas. So if you go skiing and you don't own your own skis, you're going to go to a nature center or a state park that rents them, or a county park, nearby park, could be a city park. They're going to rent you a pair of ski boots that fit into your skis. So they're short little boots that you put on that, you're going to tell them what size you need. And then they actually lock down into the skis. There's different styles of cross-country skis, but they're fairly similar. You use your ski pole to push the button and push your toe down in there, and it will lock into the... I make it look really hard when it's not. Push the button, push your toe down in there. And then it's locked on. Then you have your ski poles that usually will be like size so they come up to about your armpits. That's about the right height. And then really it's just standing up and sliding. Instead of taking steps, you slide your legs. It's fairly easy on level ground. If you get on hills, that's when it gets a little exciting, gets your heart beating fast, because going down hills, how do you stop, right? I've literally kind of dove into the snow to stop myself. But once you get better, you learn how to kind of control yourself and slow down and stop yourself. So I would really recommend, if you have an opportunity ever to go try out cross-country skiing, to check out a nearby nature center or park where you can rent them and give it a try. It's a lot of fun.